All set. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the North Branford Planning and Zoning regular meeting for February 15th, 2024. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce the members of the commission seated here tonight. To my left is Bill Gaudenzi, our vice chair. To his left is Barry Ponder, regular member, and Paul Morano is on my far left as an alternate member to the commission tonight. To my far right is Kim Slater, our recording secretary, and seated at the administrative table with her is David Perkins, our town planner. Finally, my name is Robert Nowak. I'm the chairman for the commission tonight. Next order of business is kind of consider approval of the meeting minutes from February 1st. Take a moment, commissioners, to review the minutes. Let me know if you have any corrections, adjustments, or additions to the minutes, and then when you're ready, I'll accept a motion approving the minutes as revised.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for February 1st, 2024.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Who is the second?
Paul.
Okay.
Okay. Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Okay. Motion carries. Meeting minutes for February 1st are approved. Awesome. Next order of business is old business. There isn't any old business. New business. We have an application in front of us today for application 2024-1, 2374 Foxen Road, B2 zone, site plan request under section 23, section A, line 6-4.1 to operate a dog and cat grooming business along with the daycare and grooming services on Bruno Giro and applicant Enrico McBride Paulson Pets LLC, and I apologize for really destroying that name. I apologize.
So the look of your face, he did a really bad job.
Good evening. I apologize. Would you name? Could you? Thank you. Could you state your name and address for the record for us and tell us about your project?
Sure. Good evening. My name is Enrico McBride. I live in Hamden at 129 Brayside Drive. And I currently own Possum Pets in North Haven. It's a doggy, grooming dogs and cats. It's a grooming place. And I'm here tonight to ask for approval for a doggy daycare, boarding, and grooming at the 2374 Foxen Road. Possum Pet's been in business for 6 years now. We groom dogs and cats, and now we're ready to expand and start with a daycare and boarding, which is would be daycare, like the dog is going to be there from, let's say, 8 to 5, and then the boarding means that they're staying overnight. I would like something 24 hours, so if the boarding dogs that are staying overnight, somebody would be there, with them overnight, so it's not like we close at 7 and then they're on their own, which is obviously it's a lot of safety issues, and I wouldn't be comfortable with that. So, so somebody will be there with them 24/7.
Really?
Yeah. So the building as is right now, it's all we need to do is really just fix up inside, divide it in different rooms for different dog ages and sizes. And then grooming will be moving over from North Haven within a month or two, hopefully, as soon as possible. So it would be everything all together. One-stop shop.
One-stop shopping, veterinarian next door, and you're going to take
Yeah, right? I know that, yeah, that's, yes, I feel very fortunate to have the veterinarian next to me, absolutely, yes. Yes.
Do you know approximately how many dogs would be boarded?
So from what
capacity for, I should say.
Right, so what I understood, I'm allowed to have 70 dogs altogether on the premises.
How many?
70.
7-0, yeah.
According to the square footage.
Mhm.
And I don't think that there'll be that much. So overnight, probably we have 21 kennels for overnight, yes. And then daycare might be more, it all depends. We have 3 different separate rooms, and then we hope we can house about 15 to 20 dogs in each room. So full capacity, it might be 70, yes, but we'll see. And yeah.
Is this on sewer or septic?
Sewer.
Sewer, okay, yeah.
And there is a large area in the back of the lot
Right.
for outdoor recreation.
Yes, so preferably, yes, we would like something outdoor for the dogs as well. I asked for the whole space, permission for to use the whole space. We might use it all, we might not, it all depends. But we're gonna have like a little party outside area and some place that they can play and just be outside.
Yeah.
In addition, yeah, to the inside space.
You looked at parking and all that? Good?
Parking should be fine,
Fine.
yes.
Yes, because it's not like the parents are
Just
staying
drop off,
there.
yeah.
Yes,
Drop
yeah,
off,
they
pick
just
up.
drop them
Yeah,
off
yeah.
and then they leave. Yeah, and same with the grooming, we work by appointment, so nobody would stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about landscaping because, the state right-of-way goes so far into those lots and it's difficult to do any sort of landscaping in front. And it's been part of the commission's agenda for years to, when we redo lots to try to do that. So I'm not sure if you've spoken to DOT or we can do some landscaping would be a plus.
I was there, I looked at the place, it's nice.
Yeah.
There's a vet over there.
Yeah.
One of the owners was there, I think the name was, and the place looked like it was dormant for a little while, so now you got a little business in there, which is good. So with the vet over there, I'm sure she'll get some business off of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I have a very good following as is already from the grooming.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, usually you lose about 30%, of the people, of your followers. But, whoever I'm gonna lose from North Haven, I'm gonna gain back here. So I have a good following. I feel like I have a good reputation already, for being in the business for 6 years and pretty successful. I mean, I think it's not gonna be a problem.
If there's anything over there like this,
And, yes. And then I get so many requests already from existing customers asking for daycare and boarding, something, to leave their dogs. And they trust me now already just for, having to, taking care of their pets for so long. So, it should be fine. Fingers crossed.
Were you proposed to do anything with the front face facade at all? Paint it, make it, freshen it up and?
Yes,
do
so what
something?
I was hoping, the big windows, I was gonna just, have someone, draw, just like doggies playing, like in the a top, whatever, just something, that obviously represents the daycare and grooming. The signage that's there, the one with the red frame on the landscaping, I think, I have somebody, they're gonna put a sign in just for possum pets, doggy daycare, boarding, and maybe, another sign on the building, but nothing big, just so people know that it's there. But mostly it's gonna be, the windows painted and obviously cleaned up, yes.
Was there any proposal to do anything with the back parking lot as far as you're gonna leave it asphalt?
So,
With the play area, it's kind of like hard on dogs.
yes, so I spoke with somebody in regard of fake grass, it's called canine grass. But for that, the asphalt would have to be broken up. So that's something that I'll see if it fits in the budget to do it this time, or it's gonna be something that's gonna have to be done later on. But in any case, this have to be some sort of a little bit of a grassy area for them to party, obviously, to go, and then, you know, and the fake grass is great because we have very good ways to clean it, sanitize it, so there'll be no smell, no waste or nothing that would bother the neighbors, hopefully.
Was there any proposal on your end to do anything between the buildings? Because it's almost like you could drive around the building right now.
So where I think that's the east side, where there's like a little, almost like a garage door. That's where it's gonna be the outside area. That's where it's gonna start, and then it's gonna wrap around to the back. And on the other side, it's just gonna be left the way it is for cars, obviously, to be able to, you know, move back and forth. And yeah.
Okay.
So it really is just the back, and then the little area from the door, the garage door, yeah, going out.
There's adequate lighting on the property currently to be able to illuminate everything that you need to?
On the sides,
Or,
we haven't really looked. I mean, the vet is there, so I'm guessing that there would be some good lighting.
I'm assuming the existing.
I haven't really looked at the lighting, but
Right, whatever's existing, you'll have to address as needed for
Oh,
safety
absolutely,
and.
absolutely. I mean, it's gonna be obviously cameras and all of that. But yes, we will have more lights if it's needed outside. Of course, we have to see.
The overnight, will you be taking the dogs out, or
No.
they just stay in the kennel?
Yes, they
Yeah,
would
that's what I
stay in
thought,
the
yeah.
kennel, yes. Probably the latest that they would go out would be at 8 o'clock, you know, and then back out again at 5 or 6 in the morning, depending on the need and how many they are in there, yes.
and someone would be on site all night long,
Yes,
and they would be sleeping, living there, they would be.
well, they would be working.
Right.
They would be working, yes, so, no sleeping, yes. It would be, yeah, they would be doing cleaning, maintenance, paperwork, whatever needs to be done.
Right.
But yes, yeah,
If you could just sleep there. I'll do the early morning shift, that's all I could.
yeah, they.
So it would be a 24-hour.
It would be a 24-hour,
facility.
yes, I would like
And
that.
how many overnight animals would you have?
I have 21 kennels. Well, that's what I have, the plans for, 21 kennels, yeah.
And that's dogs?
That's yes, 21 kennels for dogs, and then I have 4 kennels for cats. Yeah, so altogether at full capacity would be 26, yeah.
And you have cats come in for daycare as well, or?
No, cats don't do care. No, they don't do daycare. They wouldn't be happy with that. No, they would just say, well, you know, we will have it set up so they can come out, of course, from their enclosure, you know, and then we can play with them and, you know, when they fed and all of that. But they wouldn't be in daycare as dogs. They wouldn't interact and socialize. No, I don't think they would like that.
Well, Dave, the dogs are in the kennels and the cats are in condos.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. They call condos. Yes, you'd be surprised. Yes, but I mean you'll see. But yeah, it's very
This is sort of like land use 101, right?
very high tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their little bathroom, their separate room, their kitchen area. Yeah, it's very. I would like to live there.
Yeah, the things we do for our pets.
Right?
Absolutely. Looks like you have a lot of work to do, to say the least, to get the building in such a shape to config to your plan, that's for sure.
Yes.
With that being said, Dave, do you have any other questions? Statements?
I'm good, thank you.
Commission members, do you have any questions, concerns regarding the proposal today? Okay, so if that's the case, then I'll entertain a motion to approve application 2024-1, 2374 Foxen Road. Unfortunately, you have to wing it. We don't have a draft today.
Let me try it.
Got it, yeah. Does the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve application number 2024-1, 2374 Foxham Road, B2 zone. Under the site plan request under section 23, Schedule A, line 641, to operate a dog and cat grooming business along with daycare and boarding services.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming. Sorry about your name again.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Bring your pets.
Yeah,
Yes.
15-and-a-half-year-old dog.
And tell you that you're approved.
Can I bring my 7-year-old boy?
Yeah, exactly. Can maybe some calls against that.
He'll watch this dog.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
New business B, application 2024-2, 90 Road, I-2 zone. Site plan modification request under 23, section 23, section A, line C-15 to add a third building 40 by 60 on the site for material and equipment storage for construction building. Owner McLean, North Branford LLC, applicant John Paul Garcia, P.E. Ellis. How are you? Could you state your name and
Yes, for the record, Luke Sofair. I'm a civil engineer with John Paul Garcia and Associates, place of business 190 Fairwood Road, Bethany. I don't know, should I present from here or come up
Sure.
to the
Let's
dais?
see,
No, Snake Hill.
we like presentation, absolutely. These guys have it out, but
They redid that building.
you can walk us through it, that'd be awesome.
Cherry Hill way down there.
Cherry Hill, but,
What's there now?
yeah, one little building.
Here you go, Slater.
Yeah. I'm missing the leg.
As I said, Luke Sofair with John Paul Garcia.
So maybe a little
Associates.
bit back so we can see
Oh,
it too.
yep, apologies. Here on behalf of Kevin McClellan, who's the owner and applicant of the project. This was previously approved in front of the commission back in 2019. It was a special permit use in the I-2 zone for a contractor's yard type setup for 2 buildings on a 3.5-acre property. Kevin is operating his paving business out of there currently with 1 building existing on site that was constructed in accordance with the plan. Originally, the proposal was for a second building to be 100 by 60 to be built pretty much on the other side of a parking area from the first building with some material storage bays, parking along here, and parking along here. In the meantime, Kevin's needs for the property have changed, and the intent is to keep the 100 by 60 building, to move it over to be parallel with the existing building and put a third building of the same size, 60 by 40, closer to the front. We have plenty of room on the site. We are still, even with the third building, well under the limitations for the zone for both building coverage and for floor area. They're all, building 2 and building 3 are proposed to be similar to building 1, a metal frame butler building, single story, for material storage, equipment storage, etc. We've expanded the proposed parking along the north side of the site. We've added additional parking along here for equipment, as well as some parking in front of the proposed buildings. This building is now proposed to be 2 units instead of 3. The third building will be a single unit. As part of it, we've had to propose some modifications to the septic system. It is on well and septic. As part of an increase in building, we now have an increase in septic flow. The existing system was 85 feet, I believe. We're having to add 20 feet of additional product. We've submitted it to East Shore. They performed their initial review, had no comments of note. It does have to go to the state for a central system exception because we are tying 3 buildings into 1. But they previously approved it. It's been submitted to the state. We're working with the state. We don't anticipate any issues from a septic perspective. They're all, temporary use buildings. The intent is to have, again, material equipment storage, go there in the morning, get the material, get the equipment, very small gallons per day from a septic perspective. There is an existing well that should have plenty of capacity to service all 3 buildings. As part of it, we have met with the town planner and engineer. We've incorporated some drainage swales along the street that were sized for up to 25-year storm to make sure that any runoff that's coming down will be captured here and make sure that nothing goes onto the adjoining properties or into the street. All the activity is still concentrated within the same footprint as what was previously approved with the 2 buildings. We are keeping it as far away from the residential area as possible. As part of it, we proposed some significant buffer screenings, a double line of evergreen trees to shield the residential property from any construction activity. We've eliminated the material storage along here. As I said, Kevin's needs have changed. So we picked up some parking area over here, which allows us to offset any parking that was lost as part of the third building. We have plenty of parking on site for what meets the regulations for this use. We're not changing the use for the property. Again, it's still going to be a contractor yard, and it meets all the regulations. And we're willing to answer any questions you may have.
Are the new buildings gonna look the same as the existing building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same color, everything.
Same color.
One of the 100 by 60 building is purchased, it's there on site, and I'll order the 60 by 40, the third building, approval.
Okay.
So they'll all be the same. It's like an off-red and brownish trim.
What was the, I missed what you said, that you went to the state because you're tying 3 buildings into the septic. What was the special?
So central system exception is called. So
Central
we had to get
system
it
exception.
originally for tying, anytime you tie multiple buildings, even if, you know, you have your house and you put a pool house in with a toilet, you need to get it for that. So it's mostly procedural, especially for something like this where you have such small flows. The 3 buildings combined are less than a typical 4-family residential house.
Butler buildings?
Yeah. Clear span, yeah.
I think the state says bathroom, they don't tie like rooms. You could have like 1,000 rooms, but if it's the bathroom. that's-
Yes, so we're not proposing showers, we're proposing a toilet and a sink.
And you'll move that, where that proposed building, that larger one that you already have on site, you'll move that septic tank out of that.
Yeah, that's coming out and moving down.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I said, we heard from East Shore. They might require, they're fine because they originally approved the 2. They might ask for a second septic tank for the new building, but either way, they have no issues with relocating the existing septic tank to get out of the footprint first.
And the leaching field, that's proposed, or that's where the leaching field is
So-
gonna be?
This area here is existing, the part that is not shaded. The shaded area would be the additional leaching product that is
Okay.
required for the addition of the third building that was not originally.
I was taking a note and I didn't catch what you said about the material storage. I saw it in the other plan. But no, so where is it proposed now?
It's been eliminated.
It's just gone, right? That's what I thought you said, okay.
So no outside material storage is proposed.
The end of the road is it's a cul-de-sac, and this is the property line. What's on the right?
This is land trust property.
Denadio is on the right.
So this here is land trust, and then over here is another similar trucking construction.
I have a question. Who determined the 25-year storage swell? 25 versus?
State stormwater manual.
Okay, that's the state.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and we use the precipitation values from the National Weather Service that's recommended
Yeah.
us.
And the use is gonna be contractor's yard, you're gonna rent them out?
Yep, do some rentals too.
And there'll be, what, 3 units, 4 units?
3.
3.
4, actually, total. Myself, and then this building, the large building might not get split eventually. I have a guy that just called me tonight about doing just storage in there for his business. He does T-shirts, and then that one's whatever. So rentals, pretty much.
And there's space on the lot for you to keep your equipment during the off-season. Where would you put that?
We're phasing out of that, but I'm limited with the years of paving. So yeah, for now, just everything is pushed towards the very back of the property. Back.
Right.
So we
And we'll clean up some of the stuff in the northeast corner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Clean that up.
Yep.
This lot is, to the east side of the lot is wetlands. Why don't you show us where all the wetlands are? So this is it's a large lot, but it's totally sort of connected.
Correct. So these are the wetlands over here. At the request of the town, we had them reflagged. The limits certainly haven't increased. This area has stayed the same. This area has pulled back slightly. As part of the plan, like I said, we kept it all within the same footprint. So as to not, we're not closer to the wetlands, So no additional impact from what was originally approved. We've also included, I forgot to mention it in the initial, as part of it, the fire marshal, when it was approved back in 2019, requested a 25-foot fire lane around all buildings. We have kept that, including the 25-foot spacing between the buildings and full 25-foot access around the back of all buildings as well. So the same conditions as were originally approved.
The topography of the property is not going to change, correct?
No, no. It will be the current area that's been graded. I don't know if any of the commissioners have been to the site, but the current area that has been graded and leveled off is where all the activity will occur.
And this has been sort of a negotiation that we've had over the last 6 months between expanding the lot into the wetlands and trying to get around the corner and building something further to the east as opposed to doing a little bit more concentration on the lot itself. I think environmentally and practically works a whole lot better. And I think working together, we've
With
come up
neighbors.
with this plan.
Working together with the neighbors, yeah, staying out of there.
Is the lot going to be paved, or is it paved now?
The intent is to keep it gravel as much as possible. You know, less impervious surface is generally, most towns think that's a good thing.
Okay.
And we've reduced, the original plan had a whole lot of piping and infiltration, and we've eliminated a whole lot of that to try to do low-impact design to take care of the water flow.
And our,
which is
Open channel.
a
our
plus.
piping from here does show straight. It is plastic. I am gonna bend the pipe and not cut the new asphalt on Cyril Road. So when I pipe to this basin, it will just be just gradual low, just so you guys know. It's not shown on the plan. I should have shown it, but that's my intention.
But it makes it less expensive for the developer, and it's a low-impact design, and it's better for the environment. So it's a plus for all of us. And working together makes that happen.
Is the water from the catch basin going into the street? Which way does the water flow?
Goes into
On the
the
site?
system.
So the general flow from the site, this is elevation 132, pretty much along the back. The intersection with the street is 124, so it's a fairly consistent pitch down. This swale is run at approximately 2% down towards here, same with this one here. So it will pitch back towards here, into the catch basin to tie back into the storm sewer in the street. So hopefully no runoff coming from the property into the street.
And that property on the lower left of the map is all
This is land trust.
land trust, yeah.
Okay,
And it's pretty wet.
gotcha. Good. Good. Yep.
Building's expensive, price of steel.
You can put the steel on your back, but yet they charge me double. They originally charged me $62,000. I gave them the deposit for the big building, that's a 60 by 100. That was normal in 2018. COVID hit, and they said, oh, it went up. It went up and up. I paid 120. Now, the new 60 by 40 building, I just priced around 88. It's insane. You can put the whole building on your back. I don't know how they do it, but
Concrete floors? These are the floors inside?
no. Oh, we're just concrete, yeah.
Drainage.
No, just on slab, that's all. No inside drains or anything, I know that's not allowed, just regular.
I'm glad you worked it out with the neighbor. She moved her shed for you?
No, I haven't approached them yet. I
Still
just-
there. They put it on.
Yeah,
Kind of on two
it's
different places.
sensitive for
on it.
me because I was a kid and they'll be chasing girls soon enough, so I'll have a talk with them, that's all. Just don't want them hurt on the property, because now there's beer cans there, there's fire pits, there's string lights up at there, the trees, and I'm like, I gotta calm them down a little bit, so.
Gotcha. We put the evergreens there so you don't see it.
Yeah. That's it.
So it's more screening for you than nothing.
Yeah.
Double.
Just don't let me see it, that's all. But yeah, they're good people.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know. I was up there the other day and talked to him, but I don't know.
So we have had conversations about the wetlands and taking care of whatever problems are in the
Yeah.
wetlands, but that's a different commission.
Okay, very good. Any more comments, Dave? Questions,
Yeah,
concerns?
I think we're good.
Commissioners, do we have questions, concerns beyond what we talked about?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve application 2024-2, 90 Sears Road as presented by the applicant.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve application number 2024-2, 90 Cyril Road, I-2 zone, site plan modification, to add a third building 40 by 60 on the site for material and equipment storage for a construction company.
Based on site plans
Yep.
submitted by John Paul Garcia and Associates PC for 90 Road with revisions dated 2/2/24.
So included.
Included,
What?
all included,
Yes.
right?
Did I help or what?
Yeah, you helped a lot.
Okay,
I second. We're looking for a
okay,
second.
we're looking for a second now, so we got a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to the building.
Good luck.
Thank you, thank you.
You remember approving that?
I do. Twice. This is the second time.
Wow.
We didn't feel well.
Next item on the agenda is other business discussion regarding possible zone change for 88 to Tuckett Road.
I think we have some people here who would want to discuss that with us.
Okay.
So this is a residential zone on Tuckett Road that is being used as a commercial business, has been used as a commercial business for many years. And I was contacted and they said, what can I do with my commercial business in a residential zone? And I said, nothing. It's a residential zone. You want to build 5 single-family houses on it, that would be fine. If you want to build commercial business on it, you're going to need to do something different. So the question was, the underlying zone is probably not appropriate for the use of the property as it has been used since. I'll let you go on.
Okay, good evening. My name is Jim Galligan. I'm from Nafis and Young Engineers. We're right up in Northford. As David said, we've got a piece of land here on, you guys know which one it is, the one across the street from Silly Putty.
Yep.
Okay, so this parcel has been used as a commercial piece for literally over 100 years.
Wow.
Okay, it's always been a commercial piece since the early 20s. The people who own this place, and Joe's here with me tonight, their business is growing. They want to expand. They've got space on the property to expand. And the only problem is expanding the commercial use in the residential zone is not permitted. Here's the piece in here, and here's the Silly Putty piece. Both of these pieces, actually all 3 of these pieces, are all commercial uses. You know how long Silly Putty has been there? I played with Silly Putty when I was a kid, so you know how long.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's right.
What is the business?
Fabricator.
If you want, Joe, why don't you give them a little bit of a breakdown of what
Well,
you do?
it's a family business.
So give us your name.
I'm Joe Goodwin, I'm the owner of the property. I also have these, if you want to pass these around, this gives you at least a picture and some information of the property. I purchased the property 5.5 years ago, knowing, that it was a great building at the time. It was previously
Use use the microphone.
It was also a fabricating place before I purchased it. So I purchased it like 5.5 years ago. It was fine in the first year. Now we're just outgrowing the building. You know, we started with 2 employees, we're up to 7. And the problem we're having right now is we outgrow the building, we have no place to put product. So we're looking to build something to hold our steel.
What, is it metal fabrication?
Yes. We have a lot of contracts with local, state, and now we're applying for contracts for the federal government. We do everything. We do telephone lines, we do cell towers. It's just everything. Anything to do with metal, we do. It's a family business. I own the property, that's why I'm here. My nephew owns the company.
Those all cars or trucks?
Yes.
Those are, what's there now is welding campers, welding boats, welding trailers. Over the years, people just keep coming, and it doesn't end. And that's the problem, you know. Yeah.
What are you doing with all those cars?
Excuse me?
What are you doing with all the cars and the trucks and I'm assuming?
Oh, those cars come and go. We can't do anything with cars.
And you store boats in the wintertime? You store equipment?
A lot of those boats are being they're being welded. The trailers are, and then we store some boats there for the winter. For some of the people, he also has contracts with marinas for docks.
Right.
So what they do is every time he hits a dock, he'll take the boats out, hold them, fix the dock that need to be done, then bring the boats back. Because they can't store the boats that close to the water. It's too expensive.
Joe, how many acres you have?
4.5.
You wouldn't by chance know how many acres Silly Putty is?
They're huge compared to.
They're probably 12?
They're in the 12 to 15 acres.
I really thought it was 20, because I looked at that property.
Yeah, I think it is more like 20.
Yes.
Ridge and wetlands, though.
Well, more ridge. I don't think there are any
Ridge.
wetlands,
There's
but
a
it's
lot
all.
of wetlands. We walked it with the wetlands agency years ago.
There may be some wetlands, but it's certainly ridge.
There's a spring that comes out of there.
Well, I talked to the Silly Putty, the gentleman Joe, about what I'm doing, and he has no problem with it. The gentleman in front of me, it was his family over 100 years that owned that property, and the family was selling it out over the years, and now I'm left with 4.5 acres that I purchased. No one's behind me. Acres and acres of property was sold out to the utility companies, the water company, the gas company. So in back of me and to the right of me is all open space that the utility companies own.
So just to be clear with everyone, so this is an informal discussion about how we feel about this. Obviously, if we thought positively, you come back with you have to do a public hearing and obviously a zone change public hearing and all that, right?
Correct.
Just so everyone is aware of what we're doing.
Correct. And I
This is
think
just-
we were, at least in my mind, I was trying to open up the
Yeah.
space so that, you know, I know you've had discussions with the Silly Putty Factory, and it would be, you know, we only have 3% of the town area in North Branford for business and commercial business. And these have traditionally been commercial businesses. And when zoning came in the 60s or 70s, they overlaid this zone as residential. And they really didn't pay any attention to what was happening underneath. And we need more land in North Branford to expand our commercial base and our tax base. And this seems like a easy win situation because the next thing they do is they move out of town and they build 5 single-family houses on this lot, which is what our planning hat says they should do. So I'm not talking about zoning, I'm talking about planning.
No, I understand. Let me ask a question that might, just so they're clear, because I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask you. So if this does convert to a business zone, right? There's restrictions on outdoor storage in a business zone. Would that apply?
Oh, yeah.
That's not a grandfathered thing in, right?
No, it would all be.
Just because it exists this way with a lot of outside storage, if we change the zone, then that is a clean slate. You have to operate.
Correct.
If I could just jump in, what would happen, what the goal here is, if we were to get the zone changed, Joe's he wants to build a second building in the back. And that would mean that all the rest of the whole project would have to come in front of you as a site plan.
Understood.
So that, yes, you would have a direct input, so to speak, as to what would happen with some of the.
And it would all.
I was just being clear about the outside storage.
Yeah.
That's not allowed in, if it's a business, if we make this a business zone, you can't have all this outside storage.
Yeah, no, and I think what I'm alluding to is that would be pretty clear when we came up with the site plan.
Okay. I wanted to be clear for everyone here, that's all.
We could actually make the lot more conforming once we change the zone.
Yeah,
because
I know.
technically it's all non-conforming now,
Understood. That's why I'm kind of asking the questions.
which makes it
It
difficult.
could be a win-win because, yeah,
Right.
because then it would have to fit in the B1 and store outside storage and everything else that goes along with the business zone. Would have to comply. Okay.
And I think if we could expand that zone to include the house in front that is being used as a transportation hub, then the house would become non-conforming, the two-family house would become non-conforming, but it would be a pre-existing non-conforming use at that point, so they could continue to use the two-family house, but the rest of the lot would then come under our zoning regulations and we could clean it up. So it is, I think it's a win-win all the way around, other than me as a zoning enforcement officer going over and saying, you can't have all those boats and outdoor, then we've got to go to court and enforce it and.
And Dave, those boats there, that's not a business, that's part of the job. Like, I don't store for money for those boats. Those are just things that we were working on the marina, pulled out.
Right, but it's in a residential zone and it's not permitted.
Yes.
And I don't really want to talk to a judge about that. I'd rather have it eliminated and.
But
I understand.
just to be clear, the business zones have restrictions on outdoor storage too, even if it's part of your business. You can't just put storage everywhere.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So to be clear. Would it be, you said it, so I'm certainly not challenging you, but, so the residential it's not, right now it is allowed. So if we flip it, how has that become a pre-existing non-conforming?
But once we flip it, then it was there.
It's called pre-existing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Learned something, thanks.
What size building are you looking to put up?
I haven't got that far yet. We're waiting for some paperwork to get back from the government for their contracts. We applied, and there's a whole new format of what they expect if we do business with them about privacy, security, and different locations to store steel. So they have a higher requirement. So as soon as that, I would have that information if I could move forward. The whole thing about this is, during COVID, that set us all back because we're essential workers, so we had to stay open to fix things that no one else wanted to fix. And the problem is that steel, the way we buy steel right now, we have to get so little of it, and it makes the job so much expensive. So we're just looking to buy more of a quantity of steel to make our costs more feasible to consumers. That's all. And the reason why we had to put up some buildings is that a lot of the steel has to be heated at different temperatures. I just can't keep them outside. And that's what we've been doing. We've been keeping them outside. They get rusty, and then to get that back in shape again, and we're losing money. So.
Okay.
And that's what happened in the past. If you see a lot of some of those trailer trucks, it actually belongs to my neighbor, but he's the gentleman that lives in front in the White House. A couple of those trailer trucks are his. They're on my property. But I guess his family owned the property prior, so I just couldn't say to him, move the trucks, because they're almost impossible to move. You move them, they'll fall apart. And I guess, that's why they're there for, the ones in front.
So I guess I never asked this question.
Yeah.
What zone would you want to convert it to?
Anything that we can continually do in what we're doing.
Right,
is
so it would be
fabricated.
an industrial zone?
Well, I would say we're industrial. Because, matter of fact, when I pull this up at the field card, I think, you can take a look at this, Dave, in it, I don't have my glasses up, but I think it's.
I don't either. The blind leading the blind.
Yeah, the field cards even calls it the use as industrial, what is it, MDL?
Yeah, it was.
I think it might end up being an industrial zone as opposed to a business 1, business 2, which may be okay.
Can I ask industrial MDL?
Okay, it's listed on the field card as industrial.
So so you don't own there's a different owner of the house? Did I hear you say that?
Yeah.
So we're converting the whole square, right?
We have
including the house.
three possible owners, the Silly Putty Factory.
Oh, we're gonna do that as well, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I think it would only make sense.
Yeah, I understand, I didn't realize that.
Right.
Yeah, one shot.
And I think if you
I
were,
didn't know, because in principle, you can carve out the residential zone. In principle, I'm not saying we do that, but I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
I'm
but
not saying do that, I'm just saying, I just want to
But
make sure.
they're using that lot as a
Yeah.
business zone.
And Dave, to the point, and Joe, it's been there since 1920, and the house in front looks like it was the original homestead. So reality that the whole place, the whole piece of property, including Joe's now, was an industrial business to begin with. And then they carved out the back and so on and so forth. So I'm just stating the obvious, I guess.
Right.
And we're quiet. Before that, it was a trucking company, and they were pulling in and out continuously. So I'm a much quieter business than, my neighbors don't even know we're there, because we get there 8 o'clock and we're out by 4:30. So we're not, and business we do is that we don't invite people on the property. So it's not affecting any type of traffic, it's not creating any more noise. It's, we have welders going, that's all we have going.
And the site.
The only thing with the zone changes, that's for perpetuity, so it's not, that's what you do, but it's not, after you, it could be other things. But anyway, that's just.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a family business, this is gonna be
It's
passed
changing
down.
it in principle forever, so.
Yes.
Someday you'll not be here.
Well, I hope it just continues moving forward.
yeah, staying a family business.
I think the sight lines are pretty good.
Yes, yeah, the sight lines are great there, yeah.
Yeah, tractor trailers can just pull right in, they don't have to back in, they pull right in, you get enough property.
Right, yeah, there's plenty
to
of
do
room
what you
there.
need to do.
There's plenty of room for internal circulation.
Funny. And like I said, I have nobody in back. I have nobody onto the right side. I have the street side.
So we've had a conversation about this previous and another piece of property where we changed it from residential to business, right? And the commissioners remember the pushback that we got on that. And there was some concern about the size of the property for being a spot zone change. Right? And the reason why I asked for silly putty, the size of that, it makes the whole parcel for the industrial zone pretty close to 25 acres, not 2.5 acres or 3. So it seems, to me, it would be appropriate for this location, and I think it would be good for the community as a whole. The neighbors may not feel that way, but at this point in time, it sounds like a good move.
What's the expectation of us tonight? We're not doing anything, but.
No, this is just,
I'll be perfectly honest with you, and this is what I said to Joe before. What we're looking for tonight is either we could consider this,
Yeah.
or
Ken said.
you guys are out of your mind. Those are the two things that we were looking for.
We always like to see non-conforming lots be conforming to what it is, and if that makes this conforming, then it works for us in some capacity. And to expand your business is definitely, I think, is what the community is desiring. Hire more people, grow your business, increase the tax base, and I think that's overall for the community as a whole. It would be a good, at this point in time, favorable from my standpoint of view. I can't speak for everybody here, but we're just talking.
and it fits with the comprehensive plan.
It fits in with the comprehensive plan, correct?
You don't have anything drawn up yet, as any proposal of what you were looking to?
No, to be honest, this is our very first step.
Yeah.
And like I said, yeah, this might be something we could consider, is one of the things we were looking for. Or, like I said, if you thought, the four of you sat there and said, you guys are out of your mind, that's what we'd want to know tonight too. I mean, if, it's,
When it started when Jim called me up and said, we want to expand the business, and I said no.
That's nice.
What do I do
he was
now?
more polite than that, but he did say that.
And also, building these buildings, it doesn't matter where they are on the lot. If you tell me to move them here, I prefer to put them on the side as far back as possible so it doesn't be seen by the road. So I'm willing to put the buildings anywhere on the property. I just need the room. That's all.
So to clean up the site, it sounds like also.
Yes.
So that would be a plus.
I don't know where I'll put my boat next to. Oh,
Yeah.
my boat's not there.
I got a spot over there on 1555 for you.
Any other questions?
No?
I think we're good. Thanks, guys, for
Thank
coming.
you very much.
Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
So we got to go to just proceed forward on.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We don't think you're out of your mind.
There you go. You haven't talked to my wife?
Thank you.
We won't be able to change their mind.
Thank you very much. Hey, how you looking to try for? Yeah. You looking to try?
Nice.
It's called a remnant. Remnant. That's what it's called. I thought you'd come to me.
Nice.
Should add that to our regulations. Use that one.
We'll have to put a definition.
Picture what you want to do. It's
Yeah.
show the blueprint.
Yeah.
Show
Yeah.
by picture. Remnant. They're expensive.
Next order of business we have under other is zoning regulations update.
Young guy. Jim.
Zoning updates.
Zoning updates. So we lost our internet today at Town Hall.
Crazy.
So I dove into zoning regulations again.
Oh.
And I tried to deal with sort of the landscape regulations, and
So your plan worked, taking that line out.
I was talking to the guy.
Nice.
Take that right turn, take a right turn.
I wonder what you're doing with that big wire cutter on the pole.
so I made this sort of document with all sorts of things that I'm ready to get to you over the next couple of weeks. And I sort of discovered this regulation that's the 42.5.9, the mixed business park zone.
Mixed business.
You found it. Mixed.
Business park zone that's not anywhere on a zoning map. And it says Uses allowed under lines A2, B2, C1 through C12, C2, and C21 shall conform to the following standards. So that seems to me that anybody who wants to do anything under any of those schedules has to conform to on-site parking, driveways, and it goes on and it regulates setbacks from residential zones. It has spacing between buildings, 1 story, 15 feet, 2 story. It's got a whole list of stuff.
Was there a date assigned to that date? Was there a date on there?
It was done in '93.
Oh,
So I did pull out the file from 1993 this afternoon, and I briefly looked at it. But it's not a landed zone, but it's on your chart of zones. You got, residential zones and business zones, and then you have the MPP zone.
that's the one
It says it has to be 40,000 square feet and everything else, but it doesn't sort of show where it is. It says it has to be by a state highway. And really, I think it's more a regulation applicable to lots in the B1 and the B2 zones that are along state highways, as opposed to being a zone. Because somebody would, we haven't landed it, so we don't know where it is. But it has all sorts of great detail about setbacks and landscaping, and it's a nice thing. But I've been here for a year and a quarter now, and I just sort of discovered this thing. I'm like, how do I apply it? How do I make it work? So look at that regulation and tell me what you think.
What was it again? 42 something .9, 0.5.9?
42.5.9, mixed business park.
Yep.
Park or park?
Park.
Park.
It's very specific to uses. But then it starts talking about setbacks and, there's a column in the table of uses.
Basically, it's 3 pages.
Okay.
14-14, 15, and 16.
I don't recall that.
And it actually has some pretty good content in it.
But we have no idea where it goes. Okay.
I would just, and it's in the special use category, boom, 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 all of a sudden it's like,
Someone went to a lot of effort to incorporate it everywhere where it's supposed to be inserted appropriately, but
yeah. So, that's something that I think we can pull out of there and put into a landscaping regulation that we can refer to in all the special permits, saying refer to landscaping. Because I've got this many pages of landscaping regulations
sprinkled throughout our regs.
sprinkled throughout our regulations. And we just created more with the,
Yeah, I know.
our latest regulation.
Okay. Wow. All right. We got some homework to look at. 42.5.9 mixed.
Just look at it and see where you think it came from. And I just pulled out the meeting minutes, and it was a pretty thick file with not a whole lot in it.
Okay. What else you got?
That's it.
Okay. So we had a discussion regarding, Bill, and I'm going to ask you to jog your memory. Back in 2015, we had a Northford North Branford Center redevelopment concept plan in 2015. That we're working towards Northwood Center to follow the same kind of process. And out of this document came a proposal that the commission, Planning and Zoning Commission, needed to develop what was it called? Excuse me. What's the term here? Plan Development District. It's another overlay zone. Specifically, this document was referenced to where Wall Field was 1599 Foxen Boulevard. And out of our discussion, Trish believes that in 2016, you guys got together with Carrie, I think it was Carrie at the time, and developed something. And Dave and I had this conversation regarding that meeting 2 weeks ago, and Dave couldn't find anything in all his records regarding that, other than Eric Knapp came up with a proposal for Foxen neighborhood district. But other than that, we're kind of lost from 16 all the way up until Eric proposed something. And out of that conversation that we had last meeting, really what came out of the Bluebird committee that Barry and I are sitting in on. And the proposal for 1599 Foxen Boulevard is pretty extensive. Mixed use, apartments, all kinds of different components to it. But again, it involves, as Dave was looking at the landscaping, this involves multiple different components. And it was suggested out of that study that the commission develop a planned development district to kind of encapsulate all those features that came out of that study. Do you recall anything that you guys worked on? Trish said
There was a Yale study a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
one.
then
That's the Yale study.
the Yale study was long, it wasn't 2015.
Oh.
It was a long time ago. There was a
Right,
whole
we have
line.
the Yale, we have
Yeah,
the
you have the Yale
Yale.
study. This was like the updated version of the Yale study. A refresh and look at it.
Oh. Okay, that's new. I didn't know this was a second iteration
Yeah,
of.
yeah, there's the Yale study from a long time ago. So I've been on this 18 years. It was, I think it was prior to me getting on.
The original one,
Yeah.
right.
So it's-
And then the second study came along, but there have been no sort of proposals to change zoning regulations,
Right.
if that's where you
Yeah, I don't
go.
recall us ever moving forward with anything.
And I think with Eric, you were beginning to go down the road of trying to do some sort of Foxen Road long-term, all the way from Guilford to the center, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But it wasn't specific to the North Branford Center. You know, and we've talked about the Northford Center overlay zone and the North Branford Center overlay zone and how archaic they are. You know, maybe that should be my homework.
Okay. We have a gentleman who's visiting with us today, Tom Zampano, our town councilman. Tom, you have
Yeah,
say anything?
as far as the Northford Center part, there was a presentation made, maybe 4 years ago to the council, and it was by someone with the last name Nugent.
Yeah.
And he had a whole layout of Northford Center area. That's one thing I just wanted to mention. I don't know who holds that document.
Presented here.
I met with Steve Nugent last week.
Okay, and so that was one thing, and then the other is, you're right, Bill, there was 2 renditions of 1599. I brought the one I could find on my computer to the Blueprint Committee a few weeks ago, which was a rendition. And part of the other reason that I'm aware of as far as nothing ever changing on 1599, because no one ever made a decision, no one, meaning the town,
Yeah.
we haven't made a decision amongst us all what we're gonna do with that piece. And we had a public hearing again, like 4 or 5 years ago in the auditorium to present it to the townspeople. And, you know, not many people turned out, but people did turn out. And it was kind of a 50-50 split, open space versus doing something with it. So we it died on the vine, pretty much. So we were trying to, reinvigorate it at the meeting a few weeks ago, the blueprint. So I just wanted to add that. That's all I got.
So would it make sense to do anything at this point in time, or sit on until the town makes the decision on what to do with the property? Or get ahead of it and do something about it?
I think we should be looking at it, because it's, it might, I think I might have mentioned to you this or during the meeting, it may do something to reinvigorate the town center area. If we start to do something, it might make things start happening. I don't know.
Yeah, it was supposed to.
I think we should look at something.
It was, we're supposed to be able to connect the central plaza to it, bring connectivity with sidewalks and things like that.
We have, the ZBA has an application to build a Starbucks on the corner there.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Starbucks is in, right?
Starbucks.
Done?
Right, that's where the Dr. Firestein's office was, the brick building, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a start.
Starbucks is going there, right? Is that done?
As long as they get ZBA approval and approval from your commission, they can move in.
And then the one you're talking about now is across the street, right? The center?
Across the street from Branford Road.
Bob, and just
Yeah.
one more comment now,
Go ahead, Tom.
I'll quiet. But, if the Starbucks does go in, that makes it more
To make things happen.
yeah, to that 1599, and things might start looking a little bit different or making more sense, and who knows what could happen, right?
Who owns that property?
Chipotle likes to follow Starbucks.
I'm okay with that.
Be nice to send something in Central Plaza.
Whole Foods likes to follow.
What's the center?
Whole Foods.
Okay.
That's a good suggestion for Wall Field. I'll call it Wall Field for lack of a better term. Right, with mixed use and Chipotle, and right there, you eat there, walk over, get shopping, get your coffee.
Right, well, I'll do my homework in terms of
Right.
the North Branford overlay district and what sort of changes we should make to that to make it more attractive to the town of North Branford.
Yeah.
All
You start with that one first.
It's a good starting point.
How big is that property? 6 acres? You thought it was somewhere in that ballpark?
Tom, do you remember how?
I don't recall how big it is, but there's a lot in behind it, behind that old basketball field. And then I believe there's a right-of-way that goes out to Notch Hill, or that could go out to Notch Hill Road. There's a couple different ways to look at that piece, and there is some wetland there, I believe.
Yeah, there's some wetlands, and I think that was like the trolley track as well, right?
It's
Yeah.
the same trolley tracks as that's back here.
And they talk about the trolley track right-of-way, greenway,
Yeah,
would go
yeah.
right through there, could be a plus, and there are all sorts of sort of neat planning concepts that could be involved.
Right, because that runs all the way up to like where the old dump was, that trolley track.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is that the property where they were proposing to get a grant to do another study on?
Yes.
That area there?
Good stuff. Nice.
But we'll continue to bring it up in the blueprint too.
Yeah.
Because that's, on what to do with properties and to hopefully also kick it along, so.
Right. out of the study was a recommendation on like a public-private partnership kind of idea
Yeah,
out of
it
that
could
study,
go
but
in many ways, but in that latest rendition there, I think there's like 3 or 4 different things, you know, that were, you know, just concepts that could happen to it, you know. There's a conceptual drawing.
From the Yale study.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flagpole and like, you know,
yeah.
concentric walkways coming from the flagpole. So it could be a little bit of open space, but mixed use
Right.
as well, you know, combination. So it's neither one or the other. It's not mutually exclusive, could be a combination.
Meeting ground, or meeting ground.
Yeah, yeah.
The concept's really attractive, I thought, to the whole town. And the town came up with a,
You're in that thing.
yeah.
Always thought it was nice. Really nice.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, so we got homework. 42.5.9. We got Starbucks coming at some point in time. Anything else, Dave, before I move on?
Nope.
We have anything for March 7th? Next item, town planners report, which we probably already had.
March 7th, we have the Totoket Road and Forest, the old VFW.
Oh, yeah.
Will come in. They've gotten through wetlands. And we have a subdivision on Borelli and Totoket by the quarry on the corner.
Oh,
Interesting.
Okay.
And,
the quarry,
what?
the quarry itself?
No, just on
Is
the
by,
corner.
okay, yeah, but that,
There's that field. There's
yeah,
a-
that field, okay.
Yeah. And they're starting to build a house on the, there are gonna be 3 lots there.
Huh.
They did a first cut, and they're building the house, and now they're gonna do a subdivision and wanna build 2 more. So if you wanna live by the quarry in East Haven, you'll have your chance.
So, Dave, could you, subdivision walks us into open space, right?
So that the subdivision regulations in North Branford say that you may require open space or fee in lieu of open space. The operative word obviously is may. A lot of the regulations around the state say shall. Yours doesn't say shall, yours says may. So typically what the town has done over the years is for small subdivisions, they haven't required anything. For larger subdivisions, they have, but it's your call.
I thought it was, Rory schooled me in the last meeting we had at the Blueprint, and I thought there was only 2, but there's actually like 9 options. And if leading the regulation, I thought it's the applicant has to tell us what they're gonna do with the property, with the quote-unquote open space. It was news to me.
Well, I'll have to talk to Rory then.
Yeah, because I was just like, okay, he's like, here, boom.
No, they
Oh.
can give you open space for parks, they can give you open space for hiking trails, they can give you open space for, you know, sort of,
When you're talking
it can
open
be-
space, you're talking part of their parcel that they're subdividing.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
they can just,
Historically, we've always looked at it if it's of value and you can make some contingent, continuity, you know, connect it with other things. It was always favorable. Sometimes it's a waste.
well, historically,
So it's a
if-
waste, so we just get paid in lieu of tax, pay in lieu of open space. And put it in the fund. That's what we've typically done.
well, that's the better way to go, and we do have,
Well, sometimes it borders up maybe land trust or something. We've had some where, like the Red Barn, actually, we got some along the Far River. It was it was more favorable to us. It depends.
Right, and if you look at the.
Sometimes it's landlocked and it's worthless.
Yeah, if you look at the Blue Ribbon Commission looked at all the land that we own, and all the land trust property granted is all swampland.
Yeah, majority of it. That's probably why we should put something maybe in the regulations saying.
Well, it
shall.
is in the regulation. You guys can choose. You can,
Yeah.
you don't have to take the crap land. But you don't have to even require that they pay anything if you so choose.
Wouldn't put that in there.
I mean,
you may.
historically, it's been, we either get it if it's favorable or we just get the payment. We haven't, I don't know if we've waived it. And maybe we have, I can't.
I don't know. I'm just saying what the regulation
Yeah, I
says
understand.
may, not shall. And my office staff has sort of said when it's like a 2-lot subdivision, we don't really do it.
Yeah.
If it's a 6-lot subdivision, then we do it.
Okay.
What is it? It's 10%, right? I think it's 10%. I think it's 10%.
Yeah, it's 10%.
So if it's an acre, 2-acre subdivision or something, it's worth it.
Well, it's still
You could have that.
$10,000, $20,000, right?
No, the money I'm saying, I'm sorry, I'm talking about,
That open space.
that was when we would say we don't, that's worthless.
Yeah.
It's not good land and it's just not enough land either.
Well, it's something we should visit
Yeah.
philosophically.
What number is that on our list?
Well, I'd put it up at number 2. I mean, I would put a shall there rather than a may, and then you don't have any wiggle room.
I like the shall, yeah.
Shall what? Shall do either or?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
rather than may.
Yeah, okay, got you, yeah. Oh, that's, I agree, yeah.
Okay.
Then it's, you can't play favorites.
Yep, agreed.
Okay. Very good. Anything else, Dave?
No, that's good.
All right.
Kim wants to go home.
Yeah.
Kim's ready.
Are you kicking him under the table?
She's been working hard on that computer.
Aye.
So we have, last item on the agenda is adjournment. Ron is not here. He usually carries us
boy.
on agenda item number 9.
Might have to be me, huh? Thanks, Barry. You know what that means. All right, I move to adjourn tonight's meeting.
No, second.
All right. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. This meeting is concluded. Thank you.
Nice. I don't know who is.